I like to always pay close attention when multiple things are going on at the same time, because one of them may be a distraction. One of them may be more significant than the other, but it tends to happen where one of those things will get buried by the bigger story. Now, the bigger story that all of these media outlets are talking about now, obviously, is the Franklin Templeton ETF, and we covered that. But the response from Garlinghouse, right, with the whole eye emoji thing, of course he's going to be excited about that. But that type of information will bury something that is right in front of everyone's face, like this. Treasury. The Treasury met with 3 crypto firms to decide custody of a Bitcoin reserve. Wait. Because I know what you're thinking. You're saying to yourself, what's that have to do with XRP? See, this is where you got to put your mind has to really go to work. And it pays to be a researcher. Now, Bitcoin always leads the way. Then all the other altcoins follow. So first you get a Bitcoin ETF, then you get an Ethereum ETF, then you get Solana, XRP. They're trying to get those two now. So they always follow, but Bitcoin does it first. So now what they're trying to do is they're looking for private sector companies, and it's probably going to be these ones here led by Anchorage Digital and a few other ones. They're looking at them to possibly provide custody for the Bitcoin reserve. Wait, how does that tie in XRP and Ripple? I'm going to make it very clear, right? This is not going to take a lot of mental gymnastics. So if they're doing that now with Bitcoin, they're going to do that later with the digital asset stockpile. It just makes sense. If they need someone and they're looking at the private sector to custody Bitcoin, then they're going to probably do the same. Why would they not do the same for the digital asset stockpile? You see where this is going? So now, if they need someone to custody the digital asset stockpile, and bear with me through the pauses, but I have to think, I want to say this clearly, who, as a company that involves themselves with a native crypto that is a part of the digital asset stockpile, has a custody service already? Ripple, who purchased a digital custody company about a year or two ago. Ripple, who recently, folks, see, this is where, research pays off. These are huge catalysts. Who recently began providing and did a partnership, a deal with large financial institutions to utilize their custody services. Ripple. And we circle right back around again. Who's involved in the digital asset stockpile that could provide custody services? Ripple is definitely one of them. Now, they're not going to be the only one, I don't believe. And like I said, I'm just playing with ideas. I think that's highly likely. That's a huge catalyst. Why? Because it leads to other things. It leads to other things. That's a cause that will give rise to effects that are unbelievable, or can be unbelievable. So, another thing that hints to me that Ripple could work deeply, deeply with the U.S. government. You've been reading all this stuff about them making this huge push. I'm reading articles even today. They're still talking about how they're going to use stable coins to, boost the U.S. dollar and U.S. dollar dominance. They're still talking about it. So they're very much behind that idea. And Ripple did what? They came out last year, just out of nowhere, with RLUSD. So they can even help them in that way. So what it leads me to think here is that there is a high possibility of a lot of utility for the XRPL, which is going to boost XRP's price. There's a lot of possibility for contracts, partnerships, deals, however you want to phrase it, for Ripple to strike a lot of these with the U.S. government, like a lot of other companies have done in the past. Makes sense, right? It seems highly feasible, highly possible. Once again, keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on this. This happened now. Give it some time. If they're talking about the Bitcoin reserve, they have to then talk about the digital stockpile. If they're trying to resolve, if this is a problem for them now and they have to resolve this, then they have to resolve the same for the digital stockpile. If they already had a solution for the digital stockpile, then they would use that same solution for the Bitcoin reserve. And I'll say this. I think they're looking for companies that specialize in certain things. I do. So these companies here have a history with Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure. I'm just scanning through the article as I'm reading here. Anchorage Digital and a few others, Bitcoin Reserve and digital asset stockpile. They said the officials also inquired about how custody could impact stable coins, and market structure. Two hot button topics currently before Congress. So when it comes to the digital asset stockpile, because those are utility coins, and what was in there? It was XRP was in there. Was it Solana in there? Cardano, something like that. I don't know. Those companies know those cryptos best, obviously. They know how to protect them best. Those who created it, those who wield it the most, know how to protect it best. So I think that the U.S. government is going to go after these specialty services. I do. And that's what you would consider it if you're going to say, well, you custody this and you custody that instead of having one. They could have had one. Think about that for a moment. They could have had one entity custody Bitcoin, but they're looking at three. So what is there to make us believe that this is also not going to happen for the digital stockpile? And then you tell me why Ripple would not be a part of this. Another thing, Ripple being the go-getter that it is, why would it not position itself making phone calls, taking meetings with the same U.S. government that they claim to be shoulder to shoulder with? They've lobbied. They claim to have a direct line to, as of recent. Why would they not also put forth and say, hey, listen, we could do this custody thing if you want with XRP or with the digital asset stockpile? Why would they not do that? It would be so foolish. I would take my shot even if they were going to turn me down. I'm going to put my my bid in. I would take my shot. And as a company, I think that they've either done the same. I'm pretty sure they've done it already. Or I would do it. Given that this is happening right now, leads me to believe everyone knew this was going to happen. They knew it was coming. So Ripple had to have at least made the offer. So, we'll see what comes out of that. And once again, the distraction, the whole ETF, there's going to be an XRP ETF. I want to keep up with information because all of this information could be important. It could be potent. These are definitely catalysts, 100%, but I feel like I know for a fact there's going to be an XRP ETF. So because of that, my excitement for it is not that high. It never was that high, to be honest. I'm here for that bank money, interbank payments, B2B, stuff like that's what excites me. You should already know that. But my excitement for this is even lower now, knowing that is probably most likely going to happen. And when Franklin Templeton steps in, that's a serious, serious sign. Franklin Templeton is a $1.5 trillion asset manager. That's something serious. So listen, things are heating up, dramatically heating up. My apologies, folks. I don't know why. Today I felt just like tired. You ever feel just like mentally and spiritually just worn out? So anyway, I'm not going to bother you too much with that. But that's why sometimes my thoughts will slow down a little bit. But I still want to do so. I have to solve puzzles each day. I have to conquer something each day. I have to. I literally do. If I don't, I'm going to feel terrible at the end of the day. I have to put my mind to something difficult and try to solve it. And I do that in a variety of different ways. Now, here's another little catalyst. Kathy Wood says U.S. economy in its last leg of, quote, rolling recession, unquote, before massive productivity boost. I just want to put my little 2 cents in here because this could be major. We'll see how things go over the next 2-3 years. We shall see. But this is what I've seen. Number one, we saw more reports come out about credit card debt and just debt overall of the U.S. citizens, and it was terrible. So, and I think that's important. Some people say, well, Mick, why do you keep up with that? That's very important because that means that the people lack capital and they're going to be desperate, or they're going to, I don't know how else to put it. And I mean, no disrespect, but they're going to badly need capital. So they're going to go into things that can make them capital very quickly. And crypto is one of them. And crypto is one of the safer things. And I'm not talking about meme coins. Obviously, that can be dangerous. I'm talking about regular crypto, not financial advice. But I think that because of things like that, you're going to see more and more people go towards crypto for a very quick, large payday where they can pay down their bills, buy food, provide things like that. It's a little extra cushion. And so now that we know that that's continued, that debt is building and building, they're maxing out their credit cards, things like that. I think that's something definitely to watch. As another thing that I'm starting to see is a lot of people are now discussing openly on social media and in articles are promoting this, the starting of their own businesses online. I've never seen this many people talking about starting businesses online. Then you have it. They made it even easier because now you don't have to have a website. That's what's really making people think about this. You don't have to start a website now to have an online business. And these folks, if what people are showing me is true, they're making some unbelievable capital online. But nonetheless, what's changing that are these what's the one that they have that all the people have been using? TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop, and then YouTube has something like that also. A lot of these social media platforms have where you can sell on them now. So now the people they have to do even less work. They're making it even easier. All the people have to do are make videos and promote the products now. It's unbelievable. I'll tell you what, a long time ago, you couldn't even imagine it being like this. We couldn't imagine it being like this. So more and more people are getting into that. And if that's successful, right? If people begin to actually make larger sums of capital, there's more businesses being started than ever before, because that is a business. Then there's more capital to play with. Maybe they invest a little bit more. I mean, this is just merely one thing I'm looking at, but it's there. It's there. Another thing that adds to that idea, all right? And maybe later on we'll talk about this more when I'm thinking a little bit more clearly. Another thing that adds to that idea is, once again, reading articles and seeing videos made about this over the last 2 years, massively in the last half of a year. It seems that regular people more and more, I'm just telling you what I see. They don't want to work regular jobs, which is pushing them towards working for themselves. Now, once again, if that mind state continues and there's this huge push to work for oneself and they begin actually making more capital, then there's the possibility that they'll have more capital to play with, invest in things like the stock market, probably mainly crypto. Crypto is getting hot right now. Commodities also may be touched by such a thing, but it's something I'm keeping in my mind. So when someone like this talks about before a massive productivity boost, that's where my mind goes. I have all of those thoughts. And I say to myself, I don't know about a rolling recession. I just know that based on the M2 money supply, based on credit card data, and also in combination with what I'm seeing from people outright, it looks like that's a possibility. It could go the other way also. It could go the other way. But right now, it looks like there may be a productivity boost. Another thing, one last thing to put with that. Sorry, I have all these thoughts. They're so it's like there's so much to weave together. I'm trying not to mess it up. Oh, did you see what Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan has been talking about? Jamie Dimon has been one of the most vocal over the last 2 weeks, talking about going back to work and justifying why going back to the office and why the people must return to the office. They have and how they can't do the job well from home. So now there's this push. There's been a push over the last few years to get the people back to the office and not working at home. But it's been bigger than ever the last year. So now they're justifying why this is taking place. Now here's what's going to happen. And this all plays into this massive productivity boost, which really is may result in more capital for the people to play with, which would mean they may have more capital to invest, which could affect crypto. It's all tied together. Now, with them returning back to office, the people are unhappy. They're not happy. So now you're in a situation where, don't worry, this is leading somewhere. You're in a situation where maybe having them back at the office doesn't boost their productivity because now they're upset. They're going to sandbag you. You know what sandbagging is when you don't really do the best that you can. You just do as little as as little as you can because you hate the job. This is true. That's a thing. I'm telling you, it's not just a thing in offices. It's a thing in sports as well. A lot of lazy people in sports, you know what I'm talking about. You get a partner and they're sandbagging you. It's not a good thing, right? Right. You know, right. But anyway, so now how do you incentivize them to do the job at a level that is satisfactory, not sandbag you while being in the office where they don't want to be after they've been used to being at home. They've been at home doing the job in their pajamas and their socks. That's a heck of a thing to give up. It leads to this. The only way I can see them incentivizing those people, and if they haven't done it already, they're going to feel it. I'm telling you, they're going to feel it in the office as productivity slumps, morale is down. They have to raise that morale. How do they do that? With bonuses, 1, pay raises, 2, and they'll probably go with the pay raise before any bonuses. They have to. The people want something permanent. Give me that pay raise. Okay, boom. That satiates the people only for a temporary amount of time. Then that's why later on, so now they've given them a pay raise. That time has gone by. The people forget about that after a while. Now they're not happy again. That's how it works sometimes. You come in with the bonuses. Okay, you get a bonus for this, a bonus for that. Now what's happening, if the people are paying down their debts or they don't have debt, they have money to play with. I don't know why I keep doing this today. That's my thing today. They have money to play with. Where does that go? Does that go into crypto? I'm going to tell you this. When it comes to, let's say, never forget the money on the side, the cash on the side. Never forget that. That cash on the side is going to move. And what's happening now is a lot of people are being told to go into to save up capital. Whatever way they can, save capital. This is the word that's going around. I've been reading it in articles. I've been hearing it. Save, right? We even read articles here where people are going to everything to try to save some capital. They're going to money market funds. They've been going in cash sweep accounts. And then we read on the channel where people are actually taking money out of the banks and just cash and just keeping it at home, which I don't advise because, people will run up in your home, try to get that from you now. Don't trust those bank tellers and bank people. They'll make a call to a cousin or somebody. No, that person just left out of here with some cash. I don't trust it. I also believe in protecting oneself at all times too. But that's what people are doing. They're keeping cash. They're just stacking cash at home. So that idea is there to save capital. But if that indeed does happen, people are getting bonuses. They're getting pay raises. If that's going to happen over the next year, just watch that. Watch it. Where does that go? Where's it go? Eventually, it's going to be spent. Eventually, it's going to be moved. How much consumerism is going on? Compare it over the years. I'm telling you, it's major. You go back and you look and you say, okay, in 2022, how much were people spending, purchasing things? Then you look at 2023, then you look at 2024, and then you start to see this pattern. Is there a decline? Was there a decline in 2024? The debt skyrocketed. Did their spending go down? Now, wait, they're spending. A lot of that spending, if that did happen, occurred because of credit cards. So that leads me back to this. If they're saving capital, it can come to crypto. That's a major catalyst for sure. Why? Wait, let's close out with this. We're going to close out with this. If I'm watching that information, I know that all of these top companies, these top researchers, top paid, they're paid. Top paid researchers are looking at this. And they have to report this to their clients. They know that if there's a massive amount of saving going on, if there's going to be raises given out, bonuses as incentive, maybe they're a little bit more robust than normal. Then here's the thing, where Bitcoin and crypto comes in. When that major push that crypto is going to receive from the big companies, from the governments, from the DLT companies, when that occurs, and it is coming, they literally told you from the US Treasury, they're looking to maximize the value of XRP, folks. You think that the researchers, like, once again, this is what they do. You think they didn't hear that? They know that when that major push comes, all the possible retail investors, plus some, because they're going to tell people that they're not in crypto right now, but they might be interested. Maybe it's a friend or family member, I don't know, coworker that they've spoken to, but they're not in crypto, but they're interested or they're knowledgeable. When that push comes, those people may get in as well. They know that there's money to scoop up in all of that. Major money to scoop up in all of that. And they're going to be waiting on it. They're going to capitalize on it. So that's why all of that matters. All of that. Look how deep we went. All of that is connected and highly relevant. So they're going to max that out. They're going to capitalize on that. So we shall see. So that's what I think about when I see this before massive productivity boost. There's a golden age coming. And it looks like right now, nothing can stop it. And once again, not financial advice. It's just a matter of whoever's involved, how much they want to max it out. Because I think we got 2 or 3 massive explosions. There'll be explosions after, not as big as these 2 or 3. In my humble opinion, it's my humble opinion. You could disagree with that. But we'll see. We'll see. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.